Let me switch over right away. I think I've already got this arranged. Hope I do. No, not that one. Try the other one. Let's see if that works. Brittany, you're here.
Yeah.
I had dreams about door and plywood the other night, so I had to go out and touch one to make it. This is the okay. So this is the problem on your review. Now, what I'll do is I'll try to do these problems for you, and then once I do them, if there's any questions, please let me know. Does that make sense?
Democratic County.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And I'm here. Yes, this is good.
Who's that? Tiffany?
I'm sorry?
Who was it that said they were here?
Gift.
Ballots that arrived on time. All the ballots had to arrive by 7 o'clock yesterday.
Did you hear me?
I asked the director here.
I can't hear you.
It's Gift.
Who is it?
Gift. Gift.
We lost the ballot boxes. He did not accept any ballot.
Okay, did I miss anybody else? Okay, so we're gonna start going fast now. So the first equation we have is 12 x squared plus 23x plus 10. That should be equal to 0. And we're going to factor this using FOIL to find our zeros. So we're going to bring our 12x squared down. Jose Facundo was here once. Wow. And we're going to bring down our tan. Let's say something times something equals, and that comes from this number times this number, which in this case is 120. And those same two numbers added together equal this middle term here, which is 23. You got to think of the two numbers that do that.
3 times 4.
What is it?
3 times 4.
4 times what?
3 times 4.
3 times 4? No. Two numbers that multiply together equal 120 and add up to 23. Anybody?
60 times 2.
No, I think it's 8 times 15. So same two numbers add up to 23. Now that tells you how the middle terms are broken down. So this will be plus 8x plus 15x plus 10. You take 8 times 15, you get 120. 8 plus 15 goes 23. The next step is grouping them. The hardest part is getting this part, I think, maybe. Now, once you group them, you can factor out a 4 and an x. It gives you 3x. If you have 3x plus 2 on the left, you have to have it on the right. And it works. But you have to multiply 2 by to get 10, and it's 5. And 5 times 3 goes 15, so you know it's correct. So one of my factors is 3x plus 2. Set that equal to 0. And the other factor comes from here, 4x plus 5. Now, what makes this 0? You take this number 4, you underneath that 5, and you get 5/4. You change the sign, it's negative. This one, you take the 3, put it underneath the 2, change the sign. So those are my factors. Negative 5/4 and a negative 3/2. On the test, I believe that would be answer D. I won't take this long on all of them, but I wanted to go through this one, the whole FOIL process, so you see how to do it. Next one. Any questions?
Professor, did you already take roll?
Any questions? Are there any questions?
No.
No, I see how
No.
you
We're going to move on. Number 2. You look at number 2. We have x squared minus 6x plus 25. They want us to use the formula to solve this one. So again, we're going to do it. It's a long process. We're going to shortchange you. I want you all to see every one of these done, what I think is in the best manner possible. But remember, there are more than one way to do almost any problem. So in this one, we have x squared. We have minus 6x. We have plus 25. I set equal to 0. A is equal to 1. B is equal to negative 6. And our C is equal to 25. Get those from the leading coefficient. Leading coefficient here is not shown as a 1, but it's a 1. The quadratic equation is a negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over this. You plug it in, and negative b will give you 6 plus or minus square root b squared, which is 36, minus 4a. 4 times a is 4, times c is 100. All over 2a, which would be 2. That's equal to 6, plus or minus square root of a negative 64, all over 2. The square root of negative 64 is... Tamara, you're here?
Professor Wickman,
Yes.
this is Maria. I'm here. I don't know if you got my name already.
So who's Tamara?
I'm here.
Which one? Tamara, what's your last name?
Ariola.
Yes, okay, got you. And I have you, Ulysses, and also Maria, I do. Okay, so now, who's that? Naomi. if I did. Yes, I did. I got you. So this is the hard part right here. This is the minus 64. That's equal to the square root of a -1 times the square root of 64. So that's going to become 8. And this is going to be I squared. Why? Because I equals I squared equals a -1. I to the third power equals a negative I, and I to the fourth power with a positive 1. So now we have 6 plus or minus 8, the square root of I squared, all over 2. I squared is really I, so we now have 6 plus or minus 8I all over 2. You can reduce those to 3 plus or minus 4I. And that would be your answer. In this case, I get B. You guys okay with that one? The hardest problem on the exam is next, supposedly. Let's take a look at it. If I had this review, I would be kind of like not happy. Here's number first tough. So they want you to get X by itself. I'm going to show the shortest cut way to do it. And this will be like what you have to do in the text. So, and go to the board. We have the square root of 1 plus 8 square roots of x, both under the radical, equaling 1 plus the square root of x. And the rules anytime of square roots is to square them to get them out of there. So the first one we're going to have to do is square the left-hand side. We square this side, we get whatever's inside. You get 1 plus 8 square roots of x. You just get whatever's inside. The other side, when we square it, we get 1 plus 2 square roots of x plus x. Now, I'm going to show you that one on the side over here. You take 1 plus the square root of x times 1 plus the square root of x. You take 1 times 1 and you get 1. 1 times the square root you get the square root of x. Take this times this, you get another square root of x. And then you take the square root of x times square root of x, you get whatever's inside. It's going to be x. So you get 1 plus 2 square roots of x plus x. We have that up here. Now, on this line, we can do some things. You see, whatever you do to the left, you can do to the right. So I can get rid of this 1 and get rid of this 1. To subtract 2 from this side, I can subtract 2 from this side. I get 6 square roots of x now equals x. Again, we have a square root, so we're going to square it. That's going to give us 36x. We square the left, we got to square root the right. So that's going to give us x squared on the right. We want to set it equal to 0. We put it 0 on the left, we still have the x squared on the right. In order to get 0 on the left, we have to subtract 36x. Now we can factor this. We can factor an x out of both sides. We get x times x minus 36 My zeros come from here. That's a 0. This one here is a positive 36. The answer is 0 and 36. And that would be number A. Question about this one. This is one of the hardest ones. As long as you have it written down, you can study it.
And you said this one's for number 8?
Pardon me?
This one is example for number 8?
3. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, this is number 3.
Oh, 3, okay.
We're going to go to number 4. Number 4. Since most of y'all probably have in front of you, I'm not even going to go to this. I'm just going to write it down. Number 4 says, have the absolute value of x plus 2 equals 5. The rule is when absolute value is, it's always plus or minus. So you have x plus 2 equals a positive 5, that's your plus, or x plus 2 equals a negative 5. Then you get x by itself. Subtract 2 on this side, subtract 2 on this side. Get x equals 3. Subtract 2 on this side, subtract 2 on this side, you get x equals a negative 7. So I get my answers of 3 and negative 7, I believe, and they can be in a different order. You can put 7 here. 3, it doesn't matter. That's 8. Now let's go to number 5. Look at number 5. In doing number 5, you have to be able to read the problem. It says bracket minus 7, 9. That means you have all the numbers from negative 7 to 9. They want you to show it on a graph. Well, excuse me, if you have a bracket up here, the graph has to have brackets. So A and C are not even considerable. We're going to look at B. B said all the numbers starting at negative 7 and going to 9. It shows it exactly. But look at D. They trick you. 9 says it's not right. So B, just by looking at it, you can see it clearly is negative 7 because it says x is greater than or equal to. And since that's equal to, you have to have a bracket. And then less than or equal to 9, you have a bracket on the right. Is there any question about number 5? No one should get number 5 wrong on the exam.
No.
Did I send you guys the exam?
No.
No. You.
Hold on. Let's see what I have here in my little chat. One second. I want to do this before we do that. I'm going to move on to number 6 so you can see 6. Can you all see number 6?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, I'm talking to you guys. I want to be sure we're on target with this exam. Let's see here. Okay, so let me ask you all, what do you all think would be a time that we should call this test due? How many days do you need? If I send this out tonight, could you have it done by tomorrow?
No.
No, who said no so quickly? By the way, is Tiffany Lewis here? Tiffany, did you make it? Oh, how about Miss Moore? Alicia. Alicia, you've never missed. Okay. When do you think you guys would be willing to have this thing due?
Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday or Sunday.
Sunday.
Next class period.
No.
Monday. Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
How about what day is Monday? What is the date? Is that the 9th?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Normally, when you get a test, you get like 1 day or 2 days. I'm willing to give you, today is what? Wednesday? So you'd have a chance to see it tonight, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But Monday, I need to start putting it together. So I'm going to say Sunday. I'm going to say by 10 o'clock p.m. How's that?
That's good. Thank you.
Because everybody's busy on Monday morning anyway. If you don't have it done by Sunday 10 p.m., you're in trouble. Does that seem fair?
Yes. Yes.
Let me do this right now. I'm going to send you something. Give me a second. Uh-oh. Now let me see if I can find you. Okay, let me see. Oh my goodness. Almost done. I'm gonna write down you can get help. Yeah. Um, hmm. How about extra credit? What do you think about that?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Like what?
Creativeness, colorful,
Neatness.
neatness. Yeah.
Color. Okay, I'll go with color. Um, I'll go with that. I would see. Hold on. This one. For that. Color. Dude, I'm realizing. Um, so typing, I will give extra, and um, highlighting, underlining. I'm almost there. You guys give me any ideas? Let's see, are they the selections? Yeah. Now But in I'm looking for what I want to send you. Having a little bit of an issue. Not much. All right. Let me know if you have it. Anybody have it yet? Are you also there?
No.
No.
You should have it.
No.
I sent it to whatever one you gave me for your email. No one's got it yet?
No, sir.
Nope.
No.
Like 40, 13, 14, 41. It says it went out. I don't. I think you should have it. I think you guys are pulling my leg.
No, I haven't received it.
Nobody?
Okay, I got mine now.
I received it now.
Yeah,
You got it.
Okay.
I got it.
All right. Hearing me. Okay. We'll talk about it in a minute. Let's do a few more problems. So number 6. You have 5x plus 6 is greater than 4. Let me show you how to do this one. So the problem, you guys can read it and then tell me where I made a mistake, if I made any. I might have. We have 5x plus 6 is greater than 4x plus 12. Now, the rule in this is you always want to keep your x's positive. If you do, you don't have to worry about switching this greater than sign. So I'm going to subtract 4x from this side, subtract 4x from that side. I'm going to get x plus 6 is greater than 12. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides, so x is greater than 6. On a number line, if x is greater than 6, and this is 0, this is 6, I have to use a parenthesis like that and show it like that. And that's D. The next one, the inverse. We are given f of x, and this is number 7. F of x is equal to the square root of x minus 8. The rule is for finding inverse, we're going to change, we know that this is technically y equals the square root of x minus 8. We're going to change the x's and y's and get them the y by itself. So we now have x equals the square root of y minus 8. We're going to square both, if that's how I would do that one. Yeah, I'm going to square this side. I'm going to square this side. It's going to give me x squared equals y minus 8. Get 8 by itself, I add 8 to both sides. So I have x squared plus 8 equals y. Now, because it's inverse, we don't say y. We're going to say f of a negative 1 of x equals x squared plus 8. This stands for inverse. And I get D. And that's number 7. Next one, 8. Are we okay with this one so far? Everybody all right?
Yes.
Yes.
We're going faster. Number 8. 8 says they want us to find the distance. So the distance formula is b equals the square root, parentheses, x sub 2 minus x sub 1, parentheses, squared. Now we left plus, parentheses, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. So we've given 2 points. One is 2, negative 5. We should label them x sub 1, y sub 1. The other point is 6, negative 3. We're going to label this x sub 2 and y sub 2. Now, using the formula, then we're going to plug in. That's all we're going to do. That's going to give us 6 minus 2 squared plus negative 3 plus 5 squared. D equals the square root of 4 squared plus 2 squared. D is equal to square root of 16 plus 4. D is equal to the square root of 20. Square root of 20 is equal to the square root of 4 times the square root of 5. So then D is equal to 2 times the square root of 5. It's that one. That would be C. Next one is the midpoint, number 9. And if you get anytime you have a question, just let me know. We're given 2 points. 5 square root of 3. And 9 square root of 6. And C. The other one is 8 square roots of 3. 12 square roots of 6. Rule says for the midpoint, you add, this is x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. You add the x sub 1 plus the x sub 2, and you divide it by 2. Then you add the y sub 1 plus the y sub 2, divided by 2. So 5 square roots of 3 and 8 square roots of 3 equals 13 square roots of 3 divided by 2. And 9 square roots of 6 and 12 square roots of 6 gives us 21 square roots of 6 divided by 2. I get D. 10. Complete the square. This is another hard problem. 10 gives us x squared. But what do you guys see? I'm just going to combine the x's. X squared plus 4x plus something plus y squared plus 10y plus something equals 7. Now, to complete the square, you simply take half of the term that's next to it, the x. So this would be x plus 2 squared. Same thing for the y. You have y plus 5 squared. Because half of 10 is 5. Now, when you multiply them out, if you take x plus 2 squared, it's like this. Plus 2 times x plus 2. You get all the parts of the puzzle. You get x squared, 4x, plus 2 times 2, which is 4. We added 4 to make that square root work. It comes from here. The other side, we have y plus 5 squared. So we take y plus 5 times y plus 5. Y times y is y squared. You get the 10y, just like you have up there, but we added 25 from the 5 times 5. Added 25. Now, the rule is, whatever you left, you got to do the right. So we added 4 to this side, and we added 25. So those added together have to equal 25, 36. Now, this is the formula for a circle. So this is your h, this is your k, this is your radius squared. So radius becomes 6. The center of the circle becomes a -2 and a -5. This is your x, and this is your y. Remember, whatever makes this package 0 gives you the -2. Whatever makes this package 0, or factor 0, is the -5. This is known as your HK, the center of the circle, and that's your radius. And I don't know if they did that. They just simply, I don't know, I guess they did. Yeah, they gave you that. They just wanted you to get the answer, I guess. Okay. So on that particular problem, let's see, what would the answer be? Did we get it right? 2, 5. Was it C?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Good deal. Thank you. So let's go to the next one. Find the coordinates of the vertex of the parabola. This is probably the easiest one on the test if you understand what f of x means y. Then it says equals x plus 2 in parentheses squared plus 8. The vertex is always going to be whatever this makes 0. That's going to be a -2, and that's your x. If that's 0, then this is your y. 8. It's that simple. I mean, I can't make it so simple. Now, number 12. Let's look at number 12. You can take protector. This is time to use it. Use a wabbit. I'm going to turn it on. Thank you. Get wait. The y equals. I'm going to put in the new equation. It says you have a -3x squared over plus 3x. This is minus 3. We're going to graph it. And we're going to see which one it looks like. Then I'm going to show you a little trick in case you can't get your graph to work. You'll see it right here. This is what it is. It matches perfectly B. But look at this. Let's look at this problem. If you look at this problem, it starts out with a -3, and it's a square. So if that's the case, the only thing it can be is a parabola that you see like this, and since it's negative, it doesn't hold water. The first one is an example of a cube. A cube would do something like that. So the C holds water, but it can't be C because look, it's got the negative in front of it. Anyway, 12 is simple. Hopefully, you simply need to graph it, and you should be good. 13, long division. This is one of the ones I said you'd have. They give you 4m cubed. I don't like it like that. Let me start out a little lower to make it easier to see. 4m cubed. That's 21m squared. Minus 42m. That's 49. We're going to divide all this by m plus 7. Now, what do you got to multiply m by to match this? And it's 4m squared. That's all you want to do is match this, and you get 4m cubed. But you also have to take it times the 7, which in this case is going to give you anything right there?
28m squared.
28m squared. That's positive. Now, the rule is you change sign because you want to shrink it. It becomes a minus and a minus here. It gives you a minus 7m squared minus 42m plus 49. I want to match this -7, so we're going to put up here minus 7m. You do that, you do get the minus 7m squared. You don't do that, and you did something wrong. 7 times 7 gives you a minus 49m. Change the signs. This becomes a plus. This becomes a minus. Now have left over 7m plus 49. We have to multiply the m by to get the 7. It's plus 7. 7 times that gives you 7m. 7 times the other 7 gives you 49. Same signs. There's no remainder, 0. This is your answer. The remainder of 0. I get D. And this is number 13. Now, number 14, synthetic division. Remember, in synthetic division, every position must be accounted for, and they do. X to the fourth has a 1. X cubed is a -3. X squared has a 1 in front of the x. And 4x is a 4 in front of it. And the constant is -5. Now, they want us to divide by x minus 1. Now, be careful. When you have it divide by x minus 1, you want to take whatever makes this 0, which would be a positive 1. You're going to divide by 1. You bring down your 1, take 1 times 1, you get 1. You add these two up here, you get -2. You take the 1 times the -2, you get a -2, and you add them. You get -1. You get another -1, you multiply this, and you get a +3. Take that, multiply it by 3. You get 3. 5 out, you get a negative 2. So the answer for this particular problem, based on this, is 1 x to the third minus 2 x squared minus 1x plus 3 with a remainder of negative 2 over x minus 1. The negative could come out here. I get B. That's synthetic division. Now, Descartes' rules of signs. We are given the problem f of x equals 6x to the 6 minus 10x5 plus x to the 4 minus 3x cubed plus 20. So to determine how many positive zeros are, you look for the number of sign changes. So positive zeros are sign changes. So from here to here is 1. 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 So the number of possible zeros are in increments of 2 always. 4, 2, or 0. So you start out with the 4 here. You have 4 ones. And you go down by 2. It gives you 2, and then you go by 2 again and get 0. That's the number of positive ones. The negative zeros are determined the same way, except for you have to put a negative 1 in for the x. So we're going to write it again, 6x to the 6. If you put a negative 1 in here, you don't. It's positive. Next part is negative 10x to the 5th. If you put a negative 1 from here, you get a positive because negative times negative is a positive. Next one, if you put a negative 1 in for x to the 4th, it's still positive because anything to the 4th power negative is positive. Then you have the negative 3x cubed again. Put negative 1 in for the x cubed becomes negative 1 times negative 3. That's positive because a negative times negative is positive. And you have 20. That's another positive. So I have no sign changes, 0 sign changes. Sign changes. There's 0. 0 negatives. So I get A for my, let's see, do I? I get A for the answer, don't I? Yeah, I didn't mark it. Is that what you guys get? Is that the, you guys have the answer key?
Yes. It's A.
Thank you. Okay, now, number 16. 16, I'm not going to, Marialia, welcome. I'll make sure I got you. Not doing. If you look at that problem, I'm going to try to do it by just looking at it. The horizontal asymptote, that means a line of symmetry. If the numerator and the denominator exponent is the same, the rule says that it's the number in front of the x's over the number in front, well, it's the fraction, negative 4/5. Boom. If the numerator is greater than the denominator, it's the x, and if it's less than, there's no horizontal asymptote. This is what you need to be worried about. The answer is B. As long as the x's are the same in terms of exponents, it's the number in front of the x's in terms of a fraction. So you see how I got the -4 and the 5? I get B as my answer. Pretty simple. That one's simple. 17. 17 is not hard. You solve these problems as if it's equal to 0. So let me take. Because this is an easy problem, but only if someone explains it. With x over x plus 2. Now, first of all, we know that the denominator cannot be -2. So we're going to solve this as if it's x is greater than 0. That's the solution. We're going to do the numerator by itself. Then we do the denominator. X plus 2 is greater than 0. But when we subtract 2 from this side, we have to subtract it from the other side. It also changes the direction. So x is less than -2. This changes right here, direction, when we subtract. So we know x is greater than 0. It's not equal to it, so it's a parenthesis like this. And goes on and on and on. And then x is less than -2. So this is -2. Goes like this, and on and on and on. I get B for my answer. $18, you can put into your calculator, or you could do it manually. We're going to do 18 with our calculator. It makes life easy. So 18, you can see what 18 says. 8, they want. Put it down there again. There it is. E to the x. That means y is equal to e to the x. And then they want us to graph the negative e to the x. So you really only need to graph the right-hand side. But we're going to do both, e to the x and negative e to the x, just to see what happens. Just so you could, I didn't shortchange you that, he showed us both. So I'm going to do that. So you got e to the x and a negative e to the x. So, and we know this is going to be the inverse of it. So we're going to go there. Stop. We're going to go to our calculator again. Sure, it's sleeping. Work really hard. I'm going to stay on very long. Go up to y equals. To clear it. And where is the e? Look at it. It's right above ln. So we got to do second. ln. There's our e. And we're graphing it to the x. We're going to put an x up there and push it out. So all we did, and you got to learn to find that, and just hit graph. We're going to do the other one with graph. So that's going to give you this graph right here. Boom. Now, if you do that one and you pick that as your answer, you'd be wrong. And by the way, they will give you that as a possible solution. They don't want that one. What they want is this. We're going to do the red one. A negative, it's this thing right here, e to the x. We're going to go second again. Put that e to the x. Put the x up on top. Push it out and graph that one. That's going to be the red one. That's the solution. Boom. That's the inverse. And based on that, I'm going to get, I think B. Does that sound right? Does that look right?
Yes.
I think you ever helped me there. Yeah, the last ones are simple, I think. 19, 20, and 21. Before we go that, a little bit of a break. Did you guys, you got the test, right?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Yes.
It makes sense.
Huh?
Let's do that.
I haven't looked at it. I'm sorry.
So what you guys need to tell me is, is it clear? It says it's due on Sunday evening. It says that you get extra points for those other things. It says you can get help. And you have the exam. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I don't know of anything else I can do to give you that. Are you happy with that? We all agree to that. I hope that's okay, right?
Yes.
Okay, now, number 19 on the exam. If you remember, they want us to change this from log to exponential. The base stays the same. You only switch the top, the other side. And of course, 3 squared equals 9. And that answer is B, easy to do. The base never changes, stays there. Comes 3 squared to 9. 20. 20 is log x over 10. And you remember log x over 10 is a quotient rule. That means subtraction. So you have log x minus log 10. Now we know that this is really 10 to the 10 here on this one, because all logs are in 10, so we know that's really minus 1. We can change that to log base x minus 1. And that answer, I believe, is A. The next one is the easiest one in the entire exam. And all it is the power rule. So they give you log x to the minus 2. It says they want you to simplify these as much as possible. The power rule says you can take this exponent and put it out front. So this becomes a negative 2 log x. That's the power rule. You can look it up, Google it. And that's the exam, class. We did the whole thing. It's not even 8:30. It's within your time of 8:20. And I thought we did pretty good.
Yes.
Everybody, so I sent out the message. We've lost some people. Let me just see. I'm concerned about, did Miss Moore make it in? Yes. What about Tiffany Lewis? No, Tiffany. Jose, do you know Tiffany? Jose, are you there? Gonzalez? Do you know Tiffany Lewis? Does she know how to get a hold of you in case she needs the video? Because she will. That would be great. And I'm also missing, who's never missed before, Alicia Marino. I don't know what happened to her. Never missed her. And everybody's accounted for, I believe. So again, your test is due Sunday.
Sunday at 10.
Let me share with you guys, if you don't make the deadline, I will take off points. I don't know how many I'll take. I probably, if you're late, I'll probably take as many as 5 points off. You have plenty of time to do it. You have a wonderful review. The review covers every one of the problems on the exam. I only did not give you the same order this time. The one's not going to correspond to one, but it'll be corresponding to another one in there like it. Every one is in there. Every one that you did matches one in there. So I will say hasta la vista to you all.
Have a good night.
Thank you, Dr. Wickman.
Thank you.
I
Bye.
really appreciate you all.
Bye, Professor.